Thank you very much. As already said, I'm James. I'm the Marketing and Comms Manager for DriveNow UK. And over the next kind of 20-25 minutes, I'm going to give you a brief introduction to DriveNow, what it is, how it works, and how we're disrupting the car industry, and also how we're using Twilio to kind of improve our customer experience. So I'm going to start with giving you kind of a bit of background and the kind of case for car sharing, how it's a really great time for developing car sharing. So urban mobility is changing. There are a number of global mega trends that are really shaping the future of mobility. So we've got things like urbanisation. So more and more people are living in cities. Huge populations now in cities, even a mega city like London. And that presents more challenges. So there's more people, more congestion, how we move those people around, and puts real pressure on the transport infrastructure. There are new laws and regulations. So laws around the kind of emissions that we can have, so setting targets to reduce kind of harmful noxious gases, improving air quality. So you have things like, that helps to kind of develop then the electric car market. So e-mobility becomes a more important feature. Here in London we've got the congestion charge zone, which is exempt to electric vehicles, so they don't have to pay to enter that. So again, you start to encourage changes in how people are getting around the city. You've also then got connectivity and convenience. We're all connected more than ever before, and we all want things to be as easy as possible. So lots of things are kind of developing apps. So we were on the go. We've got these simple mobility transport applications. So quick show of hands, how many people, when you were kind of making your way here today, used a travel app to get here? So was it kind of City Mapper or Google Maps or TfL Journey Planner? Excellent. That's always good when people put their hands up at that point. It shows that people are using apps because we want to get somewhere quickly and easily and as conveniently as possible. So lots of changes happening. And one of those things that's really helping is car sharing. So all these changes in the kind of global mega trends and the demographic changes is providing a real breeding ground for these new trends and concepts. So just an example here, since 2009 there's been a 1,000% rise in the number of users for car sharing services across Europe. That's a massive increase. So we've gone from about 500,000 to now 5.5 million users. Similarly, we've had almost a 500% increase in the number of vehicles. So more and more people are making that shift away from owning their own car to accessing a car club car. Within this space then, BMW and Sixt came together to create DriveNow, which we kind of call a fully flexible premium car sharing service. So BMW provide the cars and the technology, Sixt provide their kind of experience of traditional car rental and the back-end support of kind of hiring cars and that kind of thing, and come together as a 50-50 joint venture to create DriveNow. So a little bit now about how Drive actually works. So DriveNow has really nothing in common with traditional car rental companies or car sharing providers. So you can see the spectrum here. At one end we've got car ownership, where obviously the holding time is it's permanent. You have that car permanently. You've then got car rental, been around for quite a long time, where you're probably hiring a car for a couple of days at a time. You've then got traditional car sharing. Again, that's probably been around maybe kind of 10, 15 years. Generally with traditional car sharing, you're hiring a car for a few hours, you're pre-booking that car, you're telling that company that you need the car for 3 hours, 4 hours, you pick it up from one place and you take it back to that same place when you finish your rental. What we offer is mobility on demand. So the holding period there is minutes rather than hours, and as the name suggests, it's on demand. There's no need to book it, the car's there whenever you want it, you just find it with the app, you get in, you drive, and you can park it anywhere. I'll come a bit more to that in a moment. So a quick overview of the company. So we started in Germany back in May 2011. We're now in 6 European countries. So 5 cities in Germany, and then we're in Vienna, London, Copenhagen, Stockholm, and recently launched in Brussels as well. We've over 600,000 members, over 4,000 cars, and we're taking around 550,000 trips per month. So a lot of people are using our service, which is great. Here in London, we've got over 20,000 members. We've got 310 cars, and importantly, 50 of those cars are electric vehicles. So we've got a real role to play in getting more people into electric cars, and again, think of the benefits then for the city in terms of the air quality and that kind of thing. What's great is that 92% of our members recommend it. And we've got governmental support as well. There's backing for the TfL and the Great London Authority see the benefit of car sharing. They want to encourage more people to give up their private cars, move to car sharing. There's actually a target to have 1 million customers here in London, 1 million members of car clubs by 2025. That's a huge target given where we are now. But as we've tried to see those changes, the demographic changes, that hopefully we'll see that figure being achieved as well. So at the moment here in London, DriveNow operates in 4 boroughs. So we're in Islington, Hackney, Haringey and Waltham Forest. And we also have pick-up and drop-up points at London City Airport. So I said before that you can just pick the car up anywhere. So within our designated area, you can leave the car in any residence bay or pay and display bay for free. So it's much more flexible than traditional car sharing. You basically find the car with the app, find your nearest one, you can open it with the app, you get in, you drive to your destination, you can leave the car there. How that helps as well is that also integrates really well with public transport. So if you're using a traditional car share, you're taking the car back to where you picked it up from. With flexible car sharing, you could be doing that last mile journey. So you've spent most of your journey on public transport, maybe on the train or the tube, but the last bit of your journey, that's often the difficult one, you'll be able to do that in DriveNow, for example. So actually, although cars are sometimes seen as kind of bad things, we actually integrate with public transport, and we see that our customers are more likely to use public transport than the average Londoner. In terms of the fleet, so you remember I said at the start that we define DriveNow as premium flexible car sharing. So primarily that premium part comes from the cars in our fleet. So all our cars are either BMWs or Mini. So at the moment we've got 310 cars in the UK. We've got 70 BMW 1 Series. We've got 50 of those i3 that I mentioned already. We've got 130 Minis. And then perfect for the British summer, we added 60 Mini convertibles this year. How it's probably different to traditional car sharing or kind of car clubs that you're more aware of is that all those are fitted with kind of the latest technology. So they all come with sat-nav, they've all got parking assist, they've all got digital radio. So we're quite unashamed about the fact that we're bringing a new demographic into car sharing. People that actually really like cars and like being in a really nice car. Traditional petrol heads that have always owned a car, we're bringing this into this market. So we're growing the number of people that are using car clubs. What's great as well is that they're diesel-free and they're low-emission vehicles. So all those benefits for the environment and for the cities that we operate in. But rather than me kind of going on about how DriveNow works, just show you a quick 60-second video.
DriveNow is the car sharing service that lets you find it, drive it, and drop it across North East London. Find the nearest on-demand BMW or Mini in your area and unlock it using the app. Once inside, there's no need to worry about keys. Just use your PIN to start your rental and only pay for the minutes you use. DriveNow gives you the freedom to use a car without any of the hassle of ownership. So if you're meeting friends in the city, heading out for dinner, or taking a longer trip, DriveNow makes it easy. Best of all, you can drop it in any resident bay or pay and display parking for free. And you don't have to worry about fuel, tax or insurance because they're all included in the cost. Sign up today and make getting around London that little bit easier. Find it, drive it and drop it with DriveNow.
I think that will explain it better than I can. So, you see there how DriveNow works, how we provide a credible alternative to car ownership. What I want to do now is look at how we're working with Twilio to improve that car customer experience through 2 of their products. So we work with Twilio in 2 key areas, through SMS communication and service call centre setup. For us as an organisation, it's important that we had a provider who supports our growth ambitions. As I said already, we're in 6 European countries, we're in 10 cities. We want a worldwide partner that can provide us with a fast, reliable service and supports our 24/7 business. DriveNow is on demand, people are using our cars at all times of the day, and we have to have a service that supports that. So you've seen the process, how it works, and this is kind of where the SMS notification comes into the process. So our customers register online through a website or via the app. At the point that they've registered, we send through Twilio a text message and gets them to confirm their mobile number. I think we've talked about that in other sessions today already. But that makes it then we know that we've got a correct phone number for them, and then all the other points in the process when they're using the service, we know that our messages are going to be getting to them. So then I find the nearest vehicle through the website or the app. And what I can do, although it's on demand, I can reserve a car for free for 15 minutes. That allows me then to open the car with the app if I've not got my customer card with me. So I reserve the car for free. I then get another notification, SMS notification, to let me know that car's been reserved, whereabouts it is, and also how long I've got to get to that car, so I can see that counting down. When I get to the car, I open that with my customer card or with the app. I get in, there's no keys, you saw in the video, I put my PIN in and I start driving. So I get in, I drive and go, and it's a pay per minute service. So what we find is we do have some packages for customers that want to use it for longer, so you can book a 3-hour package or a 6-hour package. What we have within our system is if customers got in and simply started driving and they've gone longer than 3 hours, we send them a notification to say, you know, you appear to be driving longer than 3 hours, did you mean to do that? You know, have you actually stopped your booking but not ended the booking correctly? So we get notifications to customers, so then if they left the car 2 hours ago, they know that something's gone wrong, they can call our call centre and we can rectify that for them and end the booking and make that car available for other customers. Similarly, when they finish their booking, if it has ended correctly, when they tap the card on the screen or locked the car with the app, we then send another notification telling them how long their journey was and what the cost is going to be and when we'll be charging them. So all through that process, within using the service, we're keeping that conversation going with our customers to make sure that they're using the service correctly and they're clear how long they've used it for and what we're going to charge them. We've also worked with Twilio to set up our call centre. Customers need to be able to contact us 24/7, and we've got a call centre in Berlin which covers all our international markets. But it's really important that kind of when you're calling a local number, so it's not an international call, which would be expensive. And working with Twilio means we've avoided the need to work with local providers, so it's basically one provider, they've helped us there, and it's a consistent service then across all our DriveNow markets. And we know we've got that confidence in the service that it's always going to be on whenever customers need to call us. So a bit there about how DriveNow works and how we're working with Twilio. I've talked a little bit around how car sharing is benefiting the city, and I just want to give you some bit of insight that we've got from some research around how car sharing is helping improve. There's lots of benefits for the city. So these are some stats from Germany, and you can see the kind of light grey colour is traditional car sharing, the back-to-base car sharing companies. So they've been around since 1997. There's been fairly a static growth. It's been growing, but not at a huge rate. DriveNow into the market in 2011, and within Germany, you can see there's been that huge growth in the number of members that are part of a car club. What's interesting as well is that the growth that we've had, or flexible car sharing has had, has also helped increase the growth at traditional car sharing as well. So people are kind of once they get into car sharing, they're using different, so they'll sign up to a flexible car share, they'll sign up to traditional car share as well. So we've turned a niche product into a mass mobility solution, and I said before we're bringing a lot more people into car sharing as a result of that. We know from our surveys that 37% of our customers join because they're able to make flexible journeys. It actually fits into how they want to use a car. Kind of a stat that is kind of bandied around a lot is that in London, a private car is used 4% of the time. 96% of the time it's parked doing nothing. So it's taken up all that space. And it's an asset that's kind of, not being used, but we know that people like to have that flexibility to use a car, and traditional car share maybe didn't quite fit that before. We're also taking cars off the road, private cars off the road. Might seem a strange thing with a car club that actually we want to take cars off the road, but it's a benefit from it. So we know from our survey that 21% of our members would have bought a car if it hadn't been for DriveNow. Similarly, 1 in 5 of our members have sold a car since joining DriveNow. So if you start to compare that with some of those figures that involved in kind of the membership levels and the number of customers we're we're bringing into car sharing, you can start to see some of the benefits there for cities. You know, as people don't buy a car or sell a car, that frees up public space, it improves, reduces congestion. I mentioned before around our electric vehicles that we've got in our fleet, so the BMW i3. We've got the largest fleet of publicly accessible electric cars in London, 50 of them, and that's overcome some of those barriers that kind of people are nervous about driving an electric car. 53% have used it. What's really interesting is 87% rate is really good, or good or very good. So we're getting the people into electric cars and the benefits then that we have for air quality in cities. We know, from the research, that we've reduced the number of household mileage that customers are using each year for a car, which that's then saving carbon dioxide that's been emitted. And also we know that, as I mentioned before, members of our Flexible Car Club are more likely to use sustainable forms of transport, so walking, public transport, cycling. And we're taking older cars, so if when you're selling a car, you're taking an older car that's generally more polluting off the road as well. Flexible cars are better utilised as well. So we know that the average private car, for every trip there's on average 1.6 people in that car. In a flexible car sharing car, there's 2.4 people. So it's more efficient at moving those people around the city. Similarly, as I said already, a private car is parked for 23 hours per day and used for 1 hour on average. That's not a great use of an asset. Think of kind of the streets of London with all those cars parked. A flexible car vehicle is used for between 3 to 5 hours per day. So they use more often and they've got more people in them. So it's a much better use of that resource and that asset. So how are we innovating? So we've kind of said now we've got lots of benefits for the city, for the population, for air quality, for pollution, for taking cars off the road. But how are we innovating as well? Well, the future's closer than you think. There's already a BMW i3 around the corner that you can open it with your watch, you can drive and drop it somewhere else, but what else are we doing? So we want to improve the customer experience in everything that we do. So there's we're personalising the experience. So you can have a destination function where you can actually you can program your favourite destinations within your account or through the app. So when you get in the car, within the sat-nav, you can just press your favourite destination in any of the cars you get into, whether the ones in London or if you're in Vienna or in Berlin, your favourites are stored and it'll give you the directions where you want to go. We've also got a radar function. So say for example where you're all in this room DriveNow members, and at the end of this conference today, there's going to be a mad rush to the cars. And there's no cars outside at the moment. You can turn on a radar function that will send you a text message and let you know when a car becomes available within the area. There's a signal function. So you've reserved a car, it's the middle of winter, it's very dark, at kind of 6:30 at night, you can't find the car in the street, you press the signal function and the lights flash on the car so you know where it is. We've got dynamic pricing as well, so we can move the cars naturally through our customers using it. So cars that haven't been used for a certain length of time, we make those cheaper. So if there's 2 cars on the same road, customers are more likely to use the one that's cheaper. So that naturally moves the cars around. We've got preheated seats. So we trialled this last year in Germany. You can actually heat, again it's probably a bit cold in Germany, kind of lots of snow and ice. So you've reserved a car, you walk into the car, you preheat the seats. When you get in the car, the screen's been melted, the seats are nice and warm, and it's a much more pleasant experience. Other things that we're looking at, so one of the things that they're trialling is looking at mini owners. So private mini owners can then tap into that, to the system we have at DriveNow, and can make their cars available to DriveNow customers as well. And that then reduces some of their repayment costs if they're taking it on hire purchase, that kind of thing. So it's making a much more better use of the asset that they have.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
Who fills the car up with petrol?
So our customers do that. So fuel, road tax, insurance is all included in the price. so you don't pay for fuel, but we incentivise customers. So if the car drops below 25%, if you go to a petrol station, you use the fuel card, you top it up for us, and you end your booking with more than 90% of fuel in the car, we give you 20 minutes as a thank you. So there are some customers that literally will, because within the app you can also filter to only show cars that have got 30% fuel. And there are customers that will use those cars, they'll drive around, they'll fill them up for us, they'll do their trip, and then they'll get the 3 minutes, which is great, perfect for us.
What happens if you have a crash or something like that, or you dent the car? Like, how do you sort of catch up on that?
So insurance is included, and that's all part of the cost. There's an excess amount in that, like any insurance. You can reduce that amount at the start of each trip. So when you get into the car, at the in-car screen, we ask you a couple of questions. So one is, how clean is the car? That lets us know if it needs to be cleaned. We'll take it off the fleet if you tell us it's dirty. We'll ask you if there's any new damage. You can report that again through the car. And then we'll ask you if you want to reduce your collision damage waiver. And you literally say yes or no, and we'll add $1.99 onto the cost of your fee, and that reduces the collision damage waiver. And then other things that we're doing, so Roiver, I don't know if I pronounced it right, is a chain of supermarkets in Germany. And actually we have there, you can actually purchase things within the car. So you park up, you've taken a DriveNow, you stop the car within a certain distance of a supermarket. The in-car screen will pop up and say, do you want to use our discounts available at this supermarket? They'll say yes. That then gets a note to their app, which then has a discount barcode that when they go into the supermarket, they show that scan and they get the discount off the shopping. So all those things, kind of using the technology to make it a much more enjoyable customer experience, using developments in technology to make things better for our customers, basically.
What happens when you want to leave the car into a residence parking? Do you pay for the parking?
So if it's residence parking, that's all included. So within the boroughs that we operate in, and we have agreements there that we can leave our cars in any mixed-use bays, pay and display bays, and residence bays. So it gives much more option of where people can park. So it's just within that our defined business area.
You've got to find somewhere to leave it.
Yeah. Yeah. So within. Say again, sorry.
It's quite difficult in London.
Yeah, but I suppose if you think of the number of paying display bays and residence bays, that gives you much more options of where you can leave the car. So I could pick the car up by our offices in Islington, drive to Hackney, and find a street that's all residence parking. I'll end my booking there, and then there'll be somebody in that area that's also wanting a car. They'll pick up the same car and then they'll drive it to their location. So kind of cars are continually moving around. And that's it. That's actually the end of the presentation. So it's literally, hopefully, an introduction to DriveNow, how I think we're providing a credible alternative to private car ownership, and how we're working with Twilio to improve that customer experience at every stage of the journey.